So there are options within your automatic reply or your vacation responder feature in Gmail that would allow you to send messages to only people within TLDSB. Or you can uncheck that box, of course, and it would go to everybody. You can even limit it to just your contacts. But instead, what we're going to do is look at how you can combine the canned messages, or the template messages, with a filter to decide who they should go to, and set up two here, one for TLDSB staff and one for everybody else. So let's just take a look at what's involved in setting this up here. Cleaned up the inbox here just so it's a little less distracting. What I would need to do is first create those canned responses. So if I don't have any of that enabled yet, I'm going to come to Settings, choose the Settings, and along the top here I'm going to go to Advanced. I'm going to come down until I find the option for templates and make sure I enable it. At the bottom, Save Changes. So at least that function is going to work for me now. Let's create the message. I'm going to compose, and I don't need a to yet. I'm going to give it a subject. This one is going to be for my, let's see, for TLDSB. This goes to all TLDSB staff. And I come down to the dots, and here I should find templates because I've, of course, turned that on. I'm going to save this as a template and choose Save. It grabs your subject line and throws it in there as the name of your canned response. If you wanted to change that template name, you can do that. So I'm going to say Save, leave it the way it is. Then I'm going to make another one. I'm going to say not TLDSB and say this goes to all email from other accounts. And I'll go dots, I will go templates, save, and save, and leave it alone. Save. There we go. Perfect. Those are done. I can hit the trash can. I don't need those templates anymore. And now I need to set up my filter. So I could come to the gear here and get into settings, and there's an option here for your filters and blocked addresses. And you could start creating new ones. Right here down at the bottom, create a new filter. Now the way I actually typically create filters though is to use the search box at the top here. And I would hit the little arrow at the end and let it know what am I filtering for. Now typically a filter is just saying if a message comes, say, from a certain person or has a certain subject line or is within certain days, what am I going to do to that? Usually it's labeling things as they come in. In this case though, I'm going to say, alright, I need to see anything that's from an address that includes at tldSB.on.ca. So I'm not being specific about a person, I'm being kind of general here and grabbing all of those. Now if I were to search, of course I would see those search results, but I'm going to click right next to that and choose Create Filter. And it says, alright, so whenever a message arrives that matches that criteria, I'm going to use the Send Template option, and I want to send my TLDSB staff message to all those people. And I can click on Create Filter. Alright, first one's done. Second one, I want it if it doesn't come from TLDSB, but here's how I write that. If I go to doesn't have for a second, and show you how we work this one out, at tldSB.on.ca, and I say create filter, and what you'll notice at the top here is it's replaced the at TLDSB part with this little dash and in brackets. But I can't actually leave it like that, so instead what I'm going to do is copy this. The problem is that if I were to go back here and I leave it at anything that doesn't have tldSB.on.ca, this is never going to fire because my address has tldSB.on.ca. So even though it's coming from a Gmail account or something, the filter is just going to say, oh, well, your email does have it, so I better not run this filter. Instead, I'm going to come up to from, and I'm going to paste in that minus and squiggly bracket, closing with the squiggly bracket little option that says not TLDSB. That's what that's trying to tell you. And when I go to create filter this time, I'm going to send to a template. I'm going to choose the template, and of course it's going to be the not TLDSB staff. So this is all other accounts essentially. Create filter, and I'm good. Now to mimic the process here, I have set up two little sample emails here I'm going to use from two different accounts. So here we go. This one is from my Gmail account, test. And this one is from my TLDSB account. No, let's just say test. There we go. So both of these two accounts should get different replies when I send to this address now. I'm going to say send and send. Perfect. There's two different accounts, two completely separate windows here, and I'm going to close that one, and I'm going to close that one. Which means this inbox will receive those messages in a few seconds here. And there they are. Alright, perfect. So, let's see, one from the Gmail account, one from the TLDSB account, and there's a little 2 there because this account has already replied to them. Let's see how it did. To the Gmail account, it said, this goes to all email from other accounts. Perfect. And to the work account, it received, this goes to all TLDSB staff. Perfect. So those two canned responses both went to the accounts that they were supposed to go to. And that way you're able to set up your own custom canned responses to any messages that you're going to receive from TLDSB people or not TLDSB people. And when I say not, that is going to include the student addresses, the TLDSB.me addresses. Now, if you wanted to address students separately, that would just mean creating a third template and then creating a third filter so that it understands to look for those TLDSB.me addresses and send messages to those. And that would take care of your third option if you needed to.